I want to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who help support the channel. Also, I want to say thank you to my Twitch subscribers. Help the channel out by donating or go to patreon.com. Thank you.
So I am getting real tired of this. I'm getting super tired of these people who picked up comics in the 90s, right when they were going through the extreme and the edgy phase, and they just think that comics have not been the playground of not just white people or white men, have been the product of playground and product of all different sorts of minorities. I think that a lot of these people who have a problem with identifying other people with other people and tell people who can't identify with the characters that they identify as, like, no, you should just shut up and identify with the characters. They're spoiled. They haven't had to think about the shit that other people have to think with, that have to dealt with. They think that it's hard for them to identify with a character that's not their gender, not their race, not their sexuality, and it's a bad thing, but they expect other people to deal with it themselves. They want to erase people that are different out of comics, out of movies, out of any material, even though some of the people and some of the stories that they base their own identity off of come from much older and much diverse places. But you have people here like Yellowflash, who quite simply, well, I'll let him tell it because he can say it a lot more stupidly than what I can. Let's go.
So 2 days ago, we got a new trailer for Across the Spider-Verse, and to be honest, I actually liked it.
Really? What? You like the trailer? What? Okay, let's go. Being an asshole.
I don't mind Miles Morales, even though I like to mess around on Twitter. But we are going to talk about him today, and some of the criticisms that people put out there about him, because I think that some of them are fair, actually, and even the mainstream comic book sites are starting to admit these problems. Now, one thing about the Spider-Verse movie...
So, if you aren't familiar who Yellowflash is, he's like the video we did not too long ago with Clownfish TV. They're a group of people that was like, no, diversity in comics is bad. And ironically enough, they whine and complain that they got called out because you're only complaining about it because it's a woman or it's a person of color. And no matter how long these people have been around or how long we've had examples of other people of color or women being in comics, you just think that these people can't do it because reasons. It's all because reasons, and it makes my feelings hurt that I have to think about something different. But let's go.
That I just want to point out, as well as the PlayStation video game, is those have managed to make him more popular than the comics ever did. His comic book sales have never been hopped. I just want to put that out there because...
So, wait a minute. I know you're using the argument ad populum, because this art, it has to be popular because, they're pushing him out, by, making a video game about a character that's been around forever. Like, Miles Morales has been around since what? The early 2000s? Here, when was Miles Morales corrected? He may be the late 2000s, early teens. When did he come around? And I'm still tripping over the fact that his initials are MGM. Yeah, what were created in 2011. So the character's been around for like 11 years. but y'all treating them like they just created them yesterday. But let's go.
One of the criticisms about him is that he is a Peter Parker rehash, and they're not far off.
No, his parents are alive. I know that's a low blow. But in what way? In what way is Miles Morales Peter Parker rehash? I'm still confused about that one. I mean, like, we have the obvious reasons, but it was a kid from Brooklyn. Okay, poor kid from Brooklyn. His parents are alive. I'm confused of how he's a rehash because he has spider powers. Like, a lot of people in the Marvel universe come from poor things. Like, you can say that Octavius is a Peter Parker Dark Reflection. You can say that, god damn, like, he has friends. Like, and he has friends that knows he's Spider-Man. I don't get that he's a Peter Parker rehash. Is Peter teaching them about how to be Spider-Man? Okay. All right, let's go.
This trailer, by the way, looks pretty interesting. I'm actually pretty curious about this. You got a Stan Lee cameo in here as well. I liked that.
That's not a Stan Lee cameo. You dumb. That wasn't a Stan Lee. That was from the last movie. Am I the only one? Okay, no, that's not a Stan Lee cameo. That's from the last movie. That literally is from the last movie. But let's go.
One of the funny comments about this that I saw was that Miles needs 1,500 Spider-Man characters to prop him up. I thought that was kind of funny. This scene with all of these Spider-Man characters is awesome. You got, like, I'm pretty sure this is Kane, Scarlet Spider right here. You got the MK armor. This looks like...
Do they not... Oh my god. Okay, so... I'm about to comic book nerd out, so, like, give me a second. So, one of the things about Spider-Man and the whole Spider-Verse token and, like, Into the Spider-Verse, it's... The original movie did not play into the fact that there is, like, universes of Spider-Man. Not only universes of Spider-Man that maybe Peter Parker, that maybe Miles. There's literally universes of Peter Parker Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man. There are multiverses out there. I know a lot of people don't like the Marvel multiverse and Phase 4, and no, Marvel has always leaned on their multiverse in a better way than DC has. Marvel has always leaned on their multiverse. Some of the characters that you may know and love have actually came from different multiverses. Cable, he came from a different multiverse. He's not the same Nathaniel Summers or Nathaniel Gray that lived. Is he the same Nathaniel Summers? Yeah, actually he is the same Nathaniel Summers that came from 616. Marvel does his multiverse a lot better than DC's. And for you people who just now started getting into Marvel because of the movies, that's great. I love you guys. That's fine. But comics are weird. Different shit. And I get it. Like, they've basically said in Marvel, like, you have to see all the movies to understand how all of it makes sense, or you like a pissed off comic book nerd that can't buy all of the comic books. I get it. You are now different, dealing with the suffering that we all had to deal with as a comic book nerd. But, like, no. And then the Spider-Verse itself was way better than what you actually see. They, like, like aside from the main joke about Liv being Doctor Octopus and Aunt May kind of like being romantic together, which spoiler alerts, Doctor Octopus and Aunt May have literally been lovers multiple times. And the joke in the Into the Spider-Verse was like a little Easter egg about they was fucking around before, but like they didn't feature like the real Spider-Verse. They went in a different way. I'm not gonna say the real, but they didn't even feature the comic book Spider-Verse. They went in a different direction, which was fine. But now they're going full, not Edge of the Spider-Verse, but they're going full Spider-Geddon on this. Why don't you understand that? No, because you want to bitch about it. You may be a comic book nerd, Yellowflash. You may be a comic book nerd, but you want to bitch about this shit to people who don't know of what really happened in the whole thing. But I'm off on a tangent. Let's go.
Spider Cop. That's what I'm guessing that is. You got like a Iron Spider type of costume right here. There's Renew Your Vows, Mary Jane, and I'm guessing Spiderline. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of cameos in here. One that I found funny was the Bagman. Here's the Incredible Bagman right here, who actually gets some pretty cool moments. This, I can't tell if that's not Doc Ock Spider-Man, but this I liked. I like Ben Bradley's in there. Like all of these characters, there's like rumored to be about 200 Spider-Man characters in this. So that would be pretty cool, if true. Now, I think this movie will likely make big bucks.
Yeah, it's a sequel to an impressive first movie. Of course it's going to make big bucks. And he knows. The fact is, he knows. That's the shittiest part about it. He knows. He knows what's going on. Oh my God, he knows. But he's playing it off for his audience of angry little 14-year-old boys. It's like, Spider-Man can't be black. I'm white. Then they need Spider-Man to be white. Bullshit.
The first one, I don't think it did terrible. The budget was so low that it made money, so I'm thinking this might be the same thing. But these movies, if anything, are going to be what makes Miles Morales popular. The comics never do it. The comics, the character just isn't working. And a lot of the problems with the character over in the comic books is that he doesn't have his own sense of purpose. He comes off as a Peter Parker clone. He even fights Peter Parker's villains, which, I mean, shouldn't he have his own rogues gallery by now? He's been around since, I want to say, 2011.
Wait, no, he's part of the Young Defenders. They literally, like, I know they hate it, like, and I don't even buy comic books. This is the shit that I just watch off of the YouTube comic review channels. He was instrumental in Secret Invasion. Not Secret Invasion, I'm sorry. In Secret Empire. He was instrumental in Secret Empire. These people. All right, let's go.
He's been around for a while, actually. He's really just now starting to get popular, and that's largely thanks to that movie and the video game. The comics have never been that huge. They've never been that huge, despite what people want to say. And I don't even hate him. I've got his first couple of appearances. Ultimate Fault number 4, and I actually have most of the Ultimate run, that first run, because I liked him better when he was in his own universe, when he was his own Spider-Man. Him sharing the same universe as Peter Parker and them sharing the name is dumb. Even the Spider-Verse, the multiverse Miles, in his universe, he is Spider-Man because Peter Parker is dead. That works for the character. What doesn't work is when they share the name and run around together. It's dumb. He's not his own man in the 616. Now, what's funny is Marvel does this with their own stuff. Now, here I said...
So, he's not his own man because reasons... Like, he's on the Young Defense... He's on the Champions. He's on the Champions. He has a friendship with Kamala Khan. A very, very noticeable relationship with Gwen Stacy. Like, I don't see why there's such this hatred of this, not hatred. Hatred's a bad word. This lack of explanation for what literally happens, and just to say like, oh, because the comics make him, because of the video games, it makes him popular. You don't get a video game of a character unless they're popular. Companies don't do that shit. They have to be popular to get a video game or a TV show or a movie. They're not just, oh yeah, Sony had every fucking right to make it just a Peter Parker movie. But it was a reason why they featured him as well as Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. It was a reason why. It's simply because he's popular. But let's go.
Even Marvel says Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. If you ever want to get interaction on Twitter, just say Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Easiest Twitter interaction you'll ever get. You'll get so much engagement on your Twitter. It's crazy.
No, the easiest interaction you get on Twitter is tweeting out that Elon Musk is a piece of shit. You'll get some engagement anyway. All right, I'm sorry. Let's go.
Sometimes thousands of tweets, comments, and retweets. Thousands.
I mean, like, okay, he's really going into this, right? It's almost as if he knows that, like, he gets, like, shit on because he has shit he takes. And he doesn't want to actually admit that. But no, it's that he's telling the truth because he's a truth teller. Right? Right?
I'm not even kidding. This one didn't do as well. But this is because I'd already said it like 6 times over the past couple of days, so it wore off. I think some people were finally getting what was going on here.
So, you're begging for attention. You're literally begging for attention. Oh my God, guy. You are begging for attention. Wow, that's fucking telling. You're begging for attention.
It's trolling. All you have to do is just talk bad about Miles Morales, and you will get swarmed. People will crawl out of manhole covers to come after you and try to get you. But
I just thought about something. I thought I didn't slow him up, but I've got him up 1.5, 1.25. Oh shit! Let's see how bad he talks in normal speed.
You know, part of the reason why people make this.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. He's just too slow, guys. He's just too slow. Let's go.
Joke is because even on his own, this is a graphic novel. Okay, it doesn't even say Spider-Man on the cover. It just says Miles Morales. Miles Morales, straight out of Brooklyn. Even on his merchandise for the Spider-Verse movie, it says Miles Morales, not Spider-Man. These are identity problems of the character.
Okay. I don't understand, like, Marvel actually does this, and I'm sure that let's say, no, they don't. When Jane Foster was running around as the Mighty Thor, they still says Odin's son and Jane Foster. They give the more popular person the title, but they don't take it away. And not only that, they've actually done something recently where, yes, the people who, I think there was a company that actually patented, I can't say that word, the word Spider-Man, and says that Miles Morales can't walk around with that name out of copyright concerns. I know it's a big meta joke about that, but they're doing it. Okay, so what? For you to just sit back and you're trying to do it as a way of invalidating Miles. And people know that. And that's why they're responding to you the way that they're responding to you. And you find it okay because he's not my Spider-Man. Like, okay. Alright. Are you gonna be mad that, like, I never see this for people that don't complain about Carol Danvers. They never complain about it. And I get it. She is actually Captain Marvel. But they never complain that Kamala Khan is taking the name Miss Marvel when it was really Carol Danvers. Like, I never see that shit. It's just weird to me. It's just like they pick and choose what they outraged about based on how much they want to sell their video to other people. That's all it is. That's just how it is. Oh my God, Peter Coffin has gotten a new video. I don't know why I'm still subscribed to him. Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
You can't distinguish him as Spider-Man as long as Peter Parker is Spider-Man. I'm not even, comic books are pretty terrible. Like modern comics. And they keep messing with Peter. I'd almost rather them retire Peter Parker, give him a happy ending with Mary Jane, and let them have children. And then you can bake in a Spider-Girl someday in the future. And
oh, he would be so kind to let them have children and bake in Mayday Parker. I don't know. Oh God. With all of these people that complain about Marvel writing, right? With all of these people that complain about Marvel writing, why don't they apply to be Marvel writers? For the longest time, they've actually says, well, if you want to do it better, you make your own comics. When they make their own comics, these motherfuckers cry foul. It's like, no, a woman is not supposed to be that strong. No, a minority is not supposed to be treated that way. But when it comes down to it, these people that they complain about have writing credits after their name. Yellowflash, where's yours? Where's yours? Where's your character? I'm right here, right now. I am making a character. As distorted and deformed as it is, I am still making a character. Where is your character creation? Instead of bitching and whining on the internet talking about how this character isn't really as popular, even though people like it. They're just being force fed, and the movies are making them popular. No shit, Sherlock. They made a movie, made a character popular. They got to glow up. And still mad that he has the Yellowflash like he's as smart as Minato actually is. But let's go.
which has already happened, by the way, and is a great run. And then, Miles could be Spider-Man. You can do whatever you want to him.
And what he fails to realize is that when they did retire Peter and give him a happy ending, people hated the shit. Like, no, we need to have Spider-Man kicking villains and like GA. Don't you remember? They gave you a plus side superhero or simple hero. He was called the Blob. Nothing can hurt the Blob. Like, yeah. And they also made him horribly. Oh my God. That what happened in the Ultimate Comics, just for shock value, was sick. I'm sorry, that was just sick. All right, let's go.
And they'll stop messing with Peter Parker, like having him sit in Mockingbird's apartment where he wears a "Ask Me About My Feminist Agenda" shirt, which actually happened, by the way. That's a real thing that happened in the comics.
Yeah, it was a real thing that happened in the comics. It was a joke, dog. It was a joke. I don't know if that's when they were actually fucking, because he was fucking Mockingbird. He was fucking Mockingbird, and he was wearing her shirt because he didn't have clothes. I don't know if that was before or after they were fucking, but he was in a woman's apartment and he didn't have clothes, and she was fucking with him by giving him that shirt. That's something that happens. Like, I get it. Like, if somebody's letting you wear their clothes, they probably want you to see them naked. I get it. Like, if they're no relations to you and they're giving you clothes to wear, they probably saw you naked, man. I get it. I know it's hard to explain to somebody who doesn't understand that. And the fact is, like, while he had that shirt on, in that scene in question, she was flirting with him. I don't know what to tell you, man. She was flirting with him because she wanted to see him naked. And let's not forget that it's almost as if, I don't know, Peter Parker has always been somebody who's low-key was sleeping around more than Tony Stark. Peter Parker has had more women that he's had fun with than Tony Stark. I don't know what else to tell you. That's something that has happened. Black Cat, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, who was that other chick? Betty Brand is that Betty Brand? Or am I thinking of Psylocke? What, Mockingbird? Like Peter Parker isn't somebody who just, I don't know, can't get a woman. Like, he gets women. And it was a time where literally he was dating Mary Jane, and Black Cat was like, she was like, you're gonna take care of him out there, like, as if like they were fucking on the rooftops while they were doing patrols. Like, Peter Parker, he's a fucking nerd, but he's still like, it was literally a character that was created to say that every time they got around each other, they slept together. The only person I don't think he slept with was Jessica Drew. But hell, shit, fuck. Jessica Jones wanted Peter Parker. I'm sorry. It's just, okay. I'm sorry. Comic book nerd.
But even in this article, which is funny, this is a Screen Rant article. This is normally an outlet that would say he could solo a Dragon Ball character. They're saying, hey, he's got an identity problem because he fights Peter's villains. And in this issue, in the yet again another Spider Miles reboot, because he just had a series, I don't know what issue it went to, but the sales went down the tube. So once again, they had to reboot it. He got another #1. They do this with Captain Marvel too, by the way. They'll reboot the characters' books so that they can spike sales again. And it works.
Are they going to talk about how fucking Scorpion fought Eddie Brock? Are they going to talk about that? I just like, I remember that Scorpion fought Eddie Brock too. It's a universe. All of these people hang around either San Francisco, I don't even know LA, but San Francisco or motherfucking New York City. Are you gonna be mad that, like, sometimes Daredevil fights the Punisher and sometimes the Punisher fights like other people's rogues galleries? Are you gonna be mad at every time that Doctor Strange fought Doctor Doom or teamed up with them, or when Tony Stark was like friends is friends with Doctor Doom? Are you gonna talk about that, or are you just gonna be like, yeah, he's just fighting? Like, oh, okay, like, wow, this shit, it just makes no sense to me. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go.
Because people love #1s. So in this, like, Peter Parker's not in it. He's fighting the Scorpion, and the Scorpion says, "Was the real Spider-Man busy so that he had to send in the Junior League?" Which is funny, like, and it's true. It's funny to see them admit that it's true as well. And down here, it points out this was surprising to read. Miles Morales has amassed his own group of supervillains. Not really. Who's an iconic villain that he fights other than Uncle Aaron, who's just another version of the Prowler?
Wait, what? So, wait, not only... So, you're not going to talk about his rogues galleries. You're not going to talk about how he has people that he may fight, but they're not iconic enough, so it doesn't really count. So, do he have his own rogues galleries or not? Now I get it. I remember that the Clone Saga and the Master Manipulator, and the fact is, one of Miles' rogues gallery is... Check this out, shit. Check this shit out. Did you know one of Miles' rogues gallery is Miles Morales? I know, it's fucking weird, right? It's not the Miles Morales. It's not, because this is Miles Morales from 1512 or some shit like that, the Ultimate Universe. One of his rogues galleries is Miles Morales from 616. Okay, let's... All right, let's go.
I think he overwrote the original 616 Prowler when they merged universes. But even still, the Prowler isn't a Miles villain. The Prowler he came out in the Silver Age, I believe, of Spider-Man. He's been a long time Peter Parker villain, so even that doesn't really count. But he fights Peter's own rogues gallery just as often. He even has relationship with the relatives of Peter's villains. And the one reoccurring villain from Miles' world, Uncle Aaron, has worn out his welcome. For his part, the Scorpion has heavily teased to be a villain in the MCU's future. Oh, he will be, but never materialized. He will eventually show up. Perhaps the Scorpion could fight Miles in a future installment, but in the world of comics, he is Peter's villain first and foremost. Miles Morales has indeed struggled to find his place in the universe that already has a Spider-Man. Currently, Marvel is marketing Miles as a younger Peter, but Peter has already had those adventures. That's right. Peter already had young adventures.
But you're missing that a lot of people didn't go back and read them. Just like you're missing the history of what happened with just like you're missing what happened, and you're saying that, you know, this passed, this passed, and this happened in the past, and just as Peter had to grow up, so does Miles. Peter Parker has been a staple in Spider-Man in fucking comics for the last, 60 years? That's something that actually Miles has to build to. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And the fact that you're saying, because it didn't happen overnight the way that I want it to happen, and it's bad, so we need to cut this character, or this character's growth is artificial because movies and video games. My man, that's how characters get popular. But, let's go.
In the Silver Age and in the Bronze Age, he's already done all these things. You're just rehashing stories that already exist. What stories, what definitive Miles original story is there? But Peter has already had those adventures, and Miles risks treading old ground.
It's almost as if companies don't go with new shit. They go with shit that they've known with a different flavor, a different remix. I know. It's almost as if, stories are derivative of other stories. But let's go.
Miles Morales is a fascinating character, but unfortunately, he still exists in Peter Parker's shadow. While it is possible for the two heroes to share the Spider-Man name, they must be different from one another. And he's not. He's essentially, in a lot of ways, just the young Peter Parker. And I don't really have a problem. I don't think he's going anywhere, to be honest. So, they need to figure something out with him to make him a different person than Peter Parker. Just giving him different powers, like his cloaking thing, his camouflage thing, and in that sting that he has, that's not enough. He needs to be a different person. He needs to be his own man. And while they share a name, it just doesn't work. Like I said, he worked better when he was in his own universe, because then he was Spider-Man. But it's funny to see them admit it.
The problem is the rest of the Ultimate Universe sucked. It just sucked so much. That's the problem. That's why they brought him over to the main Marvel Universe. I'm sorry. This is I mentioned the thing with the Blob. He literally ate who was that? Jenna Van Dyne, in an act of cannibalism. She was in her wasp form, and he ate her for no reason. And it was just out of shock value. And of course, we're not going to talk about twincest. Oh fuck, we just gonna talk about twincest. So twincest is when Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch were sleeping together, and their suspected father, who wasn't Magneto in this timeline, but Wolverine, was watching and masturbating to it. You want to bring back that for this? Of course he probably would, because yeah, sure. Anyway, but let's go.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, if you would please like, subscribe.
I think that you are somebody who are basically, you want to actually just have comics what you think comics should actually be, even though it's not work for everybody. That's what I think. And I think that you're mad because comics are supposed to be this way, and they're not. So anyway. Oh God. like, share, and subscribe, people. I want to say thank you for watching this clip, and it help out the channel if you can like, share, and subscribe. I also have a Patreon that you can actually donate to, or you can donate it one time to a PayPal. I want to say thank you for everybody who's watched, and share the video. And we're going to cut this segment here, but we're going to keep it going with the rest of the drawing and streaming tonight.